All right, let's talk about a tool that's going to save you and your team a ton of headaches, Maven. We're not just going to go over what it is, we're going to get into the why you'll seriously want to use this for your very next project. Let's dive in.
Does this whole song and dance sound familiar? You're hunting down the right version of some library, downloading jar files, grabbing the latest browser drivers, and then you have to do it all over again the second something gets updated. It's this frustrating manual loop that, a lot of us just kind of accept. But it really doesn't have to be that way. Okay, this slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? It's like night and day. On the left, you've got the manual chaos, downloading, configuring, and basically just crossing your fingers that everyone on your team is doing the exact same thing. And on the right, you have the Maven way. You just say what you need, and it takes care of the rest. The goal here is complete consistency, and it's all automated. So to really get why Maven is such a game changer, we gotta talk about the pain first. Let's take a closer look at what this manual chaos actually looks like, especially for something super common like setting up a Selenium project. This is the checklist from heck, right? First, you gotta go hunt down the main Selenium jar. Then you have to manually wire it into your project's configuration. Then you need the right driver for Chrome, the right one for Firefox, and the real kicker is when your browser updates or a new version of Selenium comes out, you're back to square one, doing it all again. And that last point, that's the most dangerous one. You're just hoping your teammates are all following the exact same tedious steps. And that hope? Yeah, that's usually where things fall apart. It leads to what I like to call the teamwork trap. Let me just walk you through a super common story that happens on development teams literally every single day. So, picture this. You've got developer A, right? They're working on a cool new feature. To get it working, they need to pull in a new library for reporting and update the main Selenium library to the latest version. On their machine, everything works perfectly. They finish up for the day, and like a good teammate, they push all their shiny new code to the central repository, like GitHub, so everyone else can get the latest and greatest. So, next morning, Developer F comes in, grabs a coffee, pulls down all the latest code from Developer A, and gets ready to crush their tasks for the day. And then, bam, the build breaks. Everything just falls apart. The project won't even compile. Code that was working perfectly fine yesterday is now just a sea of red error messages. Developer F is totally blocked. So what happened? Why did it break? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Developer A's code was relying on features from those new library versions. But Developer F? They never got the memo to manually go download and install those new versions. Their local environments were completely out of sync. And this one little problem is exactly what dependency management was invented to solve. And this right here is where our hero enters the story. Let's talk about Maven, which pretty much acts like a dedicated automated manager for your whole project. The absolute core of what Maven does is something called dependency management. The idea is brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of you manually finding libraries, you just tell Maven what your project needs to run. It then goes out, automatically downloads everything, and configures it all for you. Those external libraries, those are your project's dependencies. To put it really simply, Maven just makes all that manual, error-prone chaos we just saw disappear. It's gone. That teamwork trap just can't happen anymore because everyone's project is configured identically, automatically. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But you're probably thinking, is this going to be a huge pain to set up? And the answer is nope, not at all. Getting started is incredibly easy. And here is the best part, seriously. If you're using a modern IDE like Eclipse or IntelliJ, you probably don't have to do a single thing. Maven usually comes built right in, so you can just create a Maven project from the get-go. Now, if you want to use Maven from the command line, which you'll definitely want for things like automation, the setup is still super simple. It's a pretty standard process. You download a zip file, you unzip it somewhere permanent, and then you just set a couple of environment variables to tell your computer where to find it. If you've ever set up Java, this is going to feel very familiar. Once that's done, you just pop open a new command prompt and type mvn-version. If you see something like Apache Maven 3.6.3 show up, boom, you're all set. Maven is installed and ready to go. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. Let's recap why this seemingly small change in how you set up projects is actually a really, really big deal. It really boils down to 4 huge benefits. First, consistency. This is the big one. Everyone on the team is guaranteed to be on the same page. Second, automation. You can just say goodbye to all that tedious manual work. Third,
is simplicity. Your entire project's library setup lives in one single, easy-to-read file. And finally, your future-proofing. Maven is also a powerful build tool, and learning it opens the door to way more advanced automation down the road.
So I'll leave you with this thought. When you automate away all the tedious and error-prone parts of setting up a project, you free up all your time and mental energy to focus on what actually matters, building cool stuff. So, what are you going to build first?